Let's talk a little bit about God Moments. God Moments is 100% completely narrative of your story, and it is so special.
Yeah, God Moments, we wrote that with the intention of how do we close out the album. We'd had everything else, but it was like,
So
what?
you were specifically looking for that ending song of the album?
Yeah.
It wasn't like you wrote God Moments and let's put it here?
No, it was like, how do we close this? What's the period on the end that finishes the sentence?
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote like half of these songs on retreat, on different retreats that we would go on. Baby I and God Moments, I think we wrote the same day.
Haven't you, I think I've heard you say recently that that's really kind of, you've figured out is your strength. The
Yeah.
retreat writing and really getting into a zone that you stay in for a few days seems to be the way you like to write as opposed to a bunch of one-offs.
Well, I just think with my brain, when I can just like only focus on one thing and not have to be an artist, but just be a songwriter for a few days, it releases. And then a lot of the times I'll spend time before a retreat and just get a ton of ideas, and then I'll take those ideas, I'll look at who's writing, and then I'll kind of pair them up with which idea goes with which room. I mean, that's where I have a lot of success, I feel like. And so God Moments was kind of an idea that fell out of the room. We knew we needed something to close it down. Even Allison Jones over my record label, she was the one that goes, this record needs a life song. It's got everything but like this kind of life moment song. And so I had this idea. Where it started was I had the idea of like there's certain things in life that you like. Kind of the one idea was waking up to see a sunrise. Like you don't want to, but you've never done it and regretted it, right?
So true.
It's like those little moments where you like don't like you have to fight yourself to do them, but you never regret making it happen.
Yeah.
That was kind of the idea I started with, and then we kind of turned that into this idea of just those moments in life that like you just felt God and felt His hand on it. We tried to get, and then they're like, well, you got any God moments? I was like, I mean, I got a few. They were like, well, how did you meet Leah? And I was like, oh, well, I met her at a thing, and then she invited me to church, and I couldn't go because I was flying out the next morning, and then I woke up and the flight was canceled. If the flight wasn't canceled, we would have never hung out and ever been friends, even much less ask her to marry me. And so that's where we started, and then we thought about the guitar and just the randomness that, there's no music background, but somehow Dad saw the guitar in a pawn shop and said this would be a good birthday present for my 4-year-old, and that
Which sounds so random.
That defined my whole life. And and so we just kind of thought about all those and tried to pin it. And once again, Blake's a master class at writing, and he had a big hand in that.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, your life is a list of God moments.
For sure.
I mean, there's so many things that, especially when you and I get to get into a deeper conversation like this, that I'm kind of blown away once again,
it's the same thing with this podcast, and I make fun of you sometimes just because it's very easy to forget those and forget the God moments, and you've had so many God moments with the podcast, and it's easy to forget those. And same thing for my career, just making sure we continue to trust Him, because he's proven Himself faithful so far, and so try to keep it in His hands, not mine.